Good morning, day 263. We've got fog settling in the valley. Oh, I'm going to turn it around real quick so you can get a panoramic view. Look at this, so cool. Look at that, and it causes so many cool colors. Anyway, we're going to talk about Romans chapters 8 and 9. And Paul is, well, he's got a hard message to deliver. I've kind of, this stuff is not easy. And as a matter of fact, I almost titled today, Don't Shoot the Messenger. But I was like, well, is that really what this is about? And really, it's about fairness. That's the main, or at least that was one of the main themes that I was picking up. And as he's, talking to people and sharing the message. And he's like, look, I don't like this either. Like, at one point he starts off in chapter 9 and he was like, I'm not sure I like all of this message either, in the implications and the truth of it, or the whole truth. He says, I would accept all the curses in the world and be cut off from Jesus if it meant I could save my Jewish people, my people, that they could all be saved. I would give it all up. I would be cut off from Jesus. I would take an eternity of being cursed if it meant that I could maybe change this part of the message. And I'm like, whoa. Look at this, you guys. That is so cool. Oh my goodness. Anyway, seeing even that silo or the water tower off in the distance. So cool. Anyway, beautiful. Yeah, and I think a lot of us who believe in the Bible and in Jesus, we have a tough time with this too. It's like, I don't like this. Or maybe even some people it attracts because they like being judge, jury, and executioner and delivering like, hey, I'm special and you're not. And then they're obviously missing the point too. But there is the famous, very famous, even I think it's outside of the Bible, the comparison of God being the potter. And who are we to judge? Who are we to tell the Creator whether it's fair or not fair? Job and God had a lot of these conversations too. Like, who are we, the created? We don't know the full story. We don't. And yet we want to judge and go, it's not fair. This is not fair. And maybe it's not. But we don't even have the full picture from which to make that judgment. I looked up the word fair, and it is it's also, when you make a judgment about fairness, it takes into account that you have all the facts, and therefore you can make a judgment. And this is something that we don't have as humans. We don't have all the facts. We just have our experience as humans and our brains. We don't have the wholeness of history. I'm going to turn it around again just so you guys, I'm so distracted by the beauty this morning. See if I can get through it. Oh my goodness. Wow. I might have to make this short just so I can have my private time with all of this gorgeousness. Anyway, it's not fair. And if you've ever been in a position and somebody has said those words to you, parents hear it all the time, I'm sure bosses hear it all the time, church leaders hear it all the time. You may have a friend that you had to treat a certain way and they don't understand it, and maybe there's something that you can't share with them because it might violate another friend. There's probably been a situation in your life where somebody has looked at you and said, I don't think that's fair. And they might not have all the facts. They might not know. And maybe you weren't you were actually trying to be fair or trying to do the right thing. Doing the right thing and fairness aren't always compatible. And fair isn't always right or just, even though that is one of the definitions. But again, it comes back to having all of the facts. So as a parent, that's like the easiest example that I can give. And I know there are situations when I was a child where, I've had conversations now as an adult with my mom and my dad going, well, that's not fair. It was not fair. And I might be right, but I also didn't have the full story, and our brains make up things. And we just know it doesn't seem fair to us with what we are able to see. And I know I've gotten these accusations as a parent from my kids. And now as adults, I can go and say, yeah, I can totally understand why you felt that way, why it seemed that way. But as parents, we know our children are different. Their requirements for how we treat them are different. Their personalities, how they respond to things, external things that have happened to them. The whole, we see the bigger picture. The kids don't. They just see, he got this, she got this, or I didn't get this, but she did. They are thinking on their level. Again, what did I mention the other day? We're all tuned into the WII-FM, loud and clear. What's in it for me? And then that's how we make our judgments of fairness. But even like in America, we have a pretty good system of justice, and we try to make it as fair as possible. And even our founding documents and the Declaration of Independence and all of these things that we tried to do with fairness based on our understanding of things at the time. But now, a couple hundred years later, a lot of us are horrified. Like, how did we let slavery happen? How have that we're still trying to recover from, and that have caused people to see each other as other than? Like, even in as good a system as probably has ever been developed on the earth for being fair and just, we have gotten it way wrong, like way wrong. And we're still getting it wrong. And we have disagreements and the political parties and all the things, like humans. And yet, so and then we apply these standards to God, right? Like, who are we? Who do we think we are? And we don't have the full story. We don't know. And we're in the middle. Maybe we're at the beginning of it. Well, we don't even know the fullness of it. So every time I find myself getting caught up in, well, this doesn't make sense. And why don't, people that believe this way, how come, will they get to heaven? I don't know. Why do I believe this? And if I believe this, why does that mean something like this for another person? That doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem right. And then I remember, oh yeah, I'm the letter E in a word on page, 500 out of a 1,000,000-page book. And all I know is what's on kind of this page or this sentence around me. Maybe, if I'm lucky. I don't see the full scope. I can't pretend. And then I can even go, and even beyond that, I can go to my experience as a parent and go, oh yeah, this didn't seem fair to my kids either. And they might not even be totally wrong about that, but they don't have the full picture. They don't understand what I understand. And I'm the one that has authority, and I'm doing the best I can. And of course, we know that that's not God. He's not just doing the best he can. He's not limited by being human. He's got the fullness of it because he is the creator. It doesn't have to be fair. And we don't have to shoot the messenger. Now, a lot of the messengers out there get it wrong. And so that's why we need to be responsible for our own thoughts, our own beliefs, be critical thinkers, sit with a lot of these ideas. Don't shut yourself off from other ideas. Don't be afraid, because the truth is found in many different places. Even the Bible tells us that. And Jesus also gives several examples of authority. Remember? Like and Jesus didn't go around, quote unquote, saving everybody. We have free will. A lot of what happens to us, we are self-determined. And we like to sort of maybe throw God under the bus, or other religions, or other people. Like, we love a scapegoat as a human species. We don't really like to take personal responsibility. We like to blame it on parents and trauma and this or that, like all kinds of stuff. And while all of those things may be true, and you may have truly been a victim of some point, that's a point in time. When we choose to stay in victimhood and live under the authority of that versus our God-given authority, that, again, choices that we're making. This is not, maybe it isn't fair. And Paul's like, I don't know if I fully understand it either. I'm accepting it as true. And it hurts. It hurts me to know this. And I would give up my relationship with Christ. Like, y'all, this is Paul saying this. I would accept being cursed if the truth could be something other than this, because this doesn't seem fair to me either. And yet, it's the way it is. And who am I to question it? I am the created. I am not the creator. And I accept that I don't have the full story and understanding. Hey, good morning. All right, I'm going to sign off before the clouds lift and the fog lifts, just to enjoy the beauty for myself. Again, we're reading chapters Romans 8 and 9 and talking a little bit about fairness today. And specifically what caught my eye was Paul's statements at the beginning of Romans chapter 9. All right, have a great day. Good morning to you too. Look at this. All right, I'm going to sign off so I can be a little selfish and take some more pictures and just enjoy this beauty for myself. All right, rise and shine.